Cool. YouTube says I'm live. Um, so I'm live. Gonna tweet this out really quick and put out some information, but then we'll talk about some React Router v7 goodness. So it should be fun. Hopefully, I think it's a little choppy. The video looks like the frame rate's kind of bad, so hopefully that gets better. But if it's not, or if something's messed up with the sound or anything, just if you're on the stream, let me know. So yeah, let's really quick just tweet this out. We'll say live red dot. Cool. I would stream to Twitter, but I don't want to pay money to do that. All right, so here we are. What are we going to be doing? We're going to be talking about React Router 7. We had a pre-release, in case you didn't know. So we have pre-released React Router v7, which was very much anticipated. So let me start sharing my screen. We can kind of talk through that. Here we go. So hold on, sorry, I'm just noticing YouTube apparently is unhappy with my streaming. I should be fine though. I mean, it's not the best, but it should be plenty fine. I don't know, man. This is saying I have no viewers, so I don't know what's going on. One second, I'm sorry. I do not stream enough to know what's happening. Okay, I think I'm okay now. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna be talking about stream health. That's what we're talking about. Error. Your YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, as such viewers will experience buffering. Weird. I don't know. I don't know how to change that or how to fix that because I'm terrible at this stuff. All right. Anyway, whatever. We're gonna talk about React Router v7. So if you're unaware, which you're probably not, we released React Router v7. So by remix, React Router is a remix library. We're gonna have more libraries coming in the future. So this is just one of the projects that the remix team works on. We had a nice tweet explaining all this stuff. I've already had one person ask why, why don't we have a blog post or anything about this? And the reason is we wanted to just get this out on our socials. Our socials being just this tweet and our newsletter. So I'm not gonna open my email. It's kind of a bad idea. But we also sent out a newsletter kind of explaining, yeah, just the new features and stuff. So we'll have a longer blog post when we actually have this thing ready, but this is just a pre-release. This is just for people to kind of give us some initial feedback, to get to play around with it, to get some ideas, because we want to make the migration path really smooth. So my plan today is just I'm going to play around with it a bit. There's some things I haven't actually really messed with too much. And yeah, I wanted to open a stream in case people had questions. If anyone did jump on, I'm happy to answer those questions. And if not, I'm hoping that this stream just can exist as like a nice kind of, I don't know, like really simple tutorial, I guess, for getting started and whatnot. So if you go to reactrouter.com, and let me hold on. I'm going to change the display size on this stuff so it's a little bit better. So 1 second. Okay, so that should be a lot better. We'll go back to sharing my screen. Cool. All right. So that size should be nicer. And let me make sure everything else is up good so I can see things. Cool. Okay. So yeah, if you go to reactrouter.com/dev/guides, you'll see like our new docs. They're still very much a work in progress. You can see this here. It says React Router v7 pre-release. Welcome to the pre-release docs. Note a lot of the information here is incomplete, potentially inaccurate, as we've been working primarily on the code. During this time, we'll be updating these docs rapidly, so get ready for the final release. Thanks for your patience. So yeah, so this is not perfect. We've tried to call out as best where we can things that are not correct or not finished. But for now, yeah, these docs are kind of what we have. So I think what I had a few ideas, concepts of a plan, as the kids are saying, actually, as a very old man is saying, of what I was gonna do. But I was either gonna like mess with remix.run, oops, and try to update this thing to React Router, v7 pre. But then I realized like I don't want to do that, and the migration path just isn't there yet, to where I'm going to be doing like a lot of work that I don't really want to do. React Router actually would be a much easier one to do, but I just don't think that's going to be very interesting, maybe. So I figured I'm just gonna like start with a greenfield project, I think, and just do some new stuff. And if there are people watching and they want to ask questions, then that's awesome. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be playing with things and trying to figure out where information maybe is incorrect, or just where APIs are still awkward, whatever it may be. Um, so cool. And it looks like we have a few people watching, so that's great. So yeah, if you have questions, please let me know or whatever, and I'm happy to talk about anything. So the first thing I want to do, I think I want to run this. And I'll talk a little bit about, previously with Remix, we have like a npx create remix CLI. Right now we're just using Degit, which I think that's how you say it. Was created by, I believe, Rich Harris. Yeah. So it's just like very simple project scaffolding. I believe the plan is to eventually just move to Vite, and let Vite be our CLI and not have like a competing CLI. That's my understanding right now. So we'll see if we need to change that for some reason. But for now, this is kind of the option. And note this is pointing at hash dev. That's pretty important because this is the template only lives on the dev branch of React Router. So if you go to our GitHub and if you go to dev, yeah, this is where this is everything. This is where everything is. This is where all these docs are, and everything is pretty much all of React Router v7 is kind of in here right now. So that's that. We also have some examples. We're gonna need to figure out cleaning these up because these are all on the V6. Like I'd be really curious to see what like upgrading this thing looks like. Um, oh, interesting. Okay, what this looks like in terms of like an upgrade path. I don't know. I kind of want to. I don't know. Maybe I'll try that. Let's see what that looks like. I don't even know what the best way to like clone this is. Oh, I guess it's the same thing. Let's just use Degit. So let's do. Just put this on my desktop so I can delete it. Do RR. I don't know, RR7. We'll just call it that. Hopefully, I'm using this CLI right. I think I am. Okay, cool. So this is cloning. Okay, quick question from someone. Hey Brooks, I got a question for you. Will your docs cover Webpack to Vite upgrade as it releases React Router 7, or should I rather look for the Vite community for a guide like that? Yeah, that's a good question. We are not trying. Yeah, we're probably not going to cover like specifics of Webpack to Vite just because there's so much that can be involved in that. And yeah, it's just like we intentionally are trying to get out of the bundler game and have been with the move to Vite. Obviously we have a plugin, but yeah, we don't want to be the source on that stuff because it's just not going to be the best. So anyway, yeah, I would say like look to Vite, look to alternative sources for purely just getting from Webpack to Vite. I do know that RSPack, right? That's the new one in town. That's pretty cool. I think that my understanding is still the team behind this is working on a version of Remix on RSPack. Again, that is like a community thing that's being built. It's not necessarily from us, so don't hold me to that. But I'm hopeful that this comes out and that's also like a viable option for people who are more in the Webpack world. Because I get going from Webpack to Vite, while you may want to do that, could be a really big step. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have much better answer there. So, but yeah, thanks for asking that question. Okay, cool. So RR7. So let's open this up and see what we are given. Oh my gosh, hold on. I think I opened that wrong. Am I not in? Oh my gosh, I knew I was gonna do this wrong. Why didn't that copy everything? I guess I just don't know what I'm doing. Ah, this is so annoying. All right, that's fine. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I'm just going to R7. I'll just remove that, and then I'm gonna go into the React Router app, I think. Oops, git status, git branch, what branch am I on? Okay, I'm on dev. It doesn't really matter at this point. Cool. I'm just gonna go into examples, and then I'll go into, what was the one I wanted to do is like SSR data. Yeah, I want to see what this looks like. Okay, so we got things. We have node modules in here. I don't know why. Delete those. Go away, go away. Oh, Yeah, I don't know what that is. Okay, go away. I think that's server stuff. Is this using Vite? It is using Vite, so that's good. Okay, let's just see if we can even get this to work, and then we can look at like what an upgrade path looks like. Because this is like the big one that we're trying to target. We don't have great migration guides written quite yet, but this is the big one we're trying to target. So I just want to experience this a little bit for myself. Cool. Already got things that are deprecated. Um, okay, hold on. Let me get, sorry, my browser's all in a row. This is popping up in places I don't want it to. Whatever. Localhost 3000. Okay, cool. So this does work. It says server side rendered. There's no flash. I can disable. I guess JavaScript. How do you spell it right? That's the way you do it. Okay. And then enable JavaScript. Okay, cool. So this all works. This is server side rendered. That's great. So what's going on in here? We've got, yeah, this looks like exactly like Remix. So this is already set up a little too well for me, but that's all right. This is good. So cool, cool. Oh, it's using, oh, okay, it's using remix.run router, right? Because we renamed it to that. All right, interesting. Yeah, this is going to be so interesting. So where are we actually using that? Yeah, this is like really, oh, we're not even, okay. Okay, React Router DOM. Yeah, yeah, that's what I should be looking for. So we got this one. This is how we're making all those objects. This is our entry. This is lazy. Interesting. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on here. So what pages do we have? We have a home page, we have an about page, we have a dashboard, lazy, redirect to home, and then nothing here. Okay, cool. So what does that migration path look like? So right now, if you go to the home page, it's like, oh, upgrade to 7. Obviously, you got a lot going on here. So it's like, first, make sure you're on 6. That makes sense. And then add all of these things. So am I using create browser router? Probably. So let's make sure we have the latest for everything. I mean, it's not going to matter, but this is what you would do. You would add all the future flags. Um, yeah, normalized form method. That's great. And then, yeah, splat stuff, blah, blah, blah. So you want to make sure all these V7s are on here. I don't think I'm even using this thing. Yeah, because I'm using create browser router. Man, it's been a second since I've used like React router just on its own. Fetch or persist. Is that not in here? Create browser router. Must be missing something on that one. Why that doesn't exist. Okay. Create browser router. Is that not what I'm using? Let me put these side by side. And then the left here. Okay, whatever. So anyway, you would go through, you would update all these to V7, and then once you get to the end, it's like, hey, update this one to V7. That's actually, I think this is incorrect. That doesn't really exist. I don't even know if there's, let's see, npm install react router DOM. Obviously, 7 doesn't work um, because there is no 7. But if you go to pre, I wonder if it'll update it to pre. React router, because okay, so it is there. So I guess I thought we were getting rid of this package. I think we're maybe not getting rid of this package, but it's just like a re-export of React router, because React router is really all you need. And it even says that here, so it's like we can just uninstall this, and then we can npm install React router at pre. And theoretically, everything's just going to work, but we're going to change all React routers to React router DOM to React router. Um, is that not how this works? Oh, files to include. Whoops. Sorry, replace. All right, I don't know. Let's see if it works. I'm really curious how, like, I don't know if this actually works as simply as we're kind of saying it's supposed to work. So I'm getting one little error. Router provider, it seems like that doesn't have a fallback element. I'm not sure if we changed that or what's going on there. So we'll see what that looks like. And then this thing, I think I can get rid of this. I'm just going to do it that way. All right, I have no idea if this is going to work. I'm super interested. Yeah, see, it doesn't even like that. So my vconfig, what did I do wrong? Yeah, there's a lot more going on here than I thought. because we're doing like a resolutions. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. What is this? Resolve process.env use source. And we're setting up some aliases. I don't even know why we're doing this exactly. Yeah, this is not quite what we want to be doing. Oh, because this is weird. Why is this referencing the React router? Okay, this is because I'm in like the, I guess because I'm in the larger React router thing. I think, let me just see. I don't know what happens if I get rid of this. Because I was in the React router like code base, so I guess it was referencing that. Okay, yeah, everything's broken. Missing dot slash server specifier and React router package. All right, whatever. Cool. All right, well, our migration path is not as great as I would like it to be, or at least this isn't very clear to me. So yeah, this is where we need a little bit more work because I'm not even like this should just work straight up, but I have no idea what I did wrong. I'll be curious. Yeah, in the React router package. Yeah, I don't know what it's referencing. This dot server specifier. I think this was just, I don't know, this was a weird setup and I did not understand how this setup works, so that's probably a bad example. That's on me. I probably shouldn't have started here. Okay, well, yeah. So the migration path is something we're still planning on working on. This is probably a good point to talk about even like what it is we're trying to work on. So or like what we have left. Like why are we not just releasing this as V7? So I think yeah, someone actually asked me this, so I want to address this question. Not there, not there, not there. Yeah. So Brian asked about I was mixing this up with a different Brian. Okay, Brian asked, would love to know more about the migration paths from Remix to React Router 7, or if it's best to wait for Remix 3.0. Yeah, this is confusing people a lot. The Remix 3.0 thing. I'm not even gonna really worry about that. Um, I think I added confusion the other day talking about something, but yeah. So the Remix to React Router 7 is a little bit more straightforward. So I can definitely kind of show what that experience looks like. I can either show that as like just going from like one template to the other, not necessarily the most exciting thing, or yeah, I can just kind of show how they're the same. I'm trying to think what the best way to do that is. Um, yeah, let me think. So from Remix to React Router, kind of the way that we're trying to do this, we have a blog post, and this is kind of what we talked about. This is still like our plan as best I understand it. Yeah. React Router to V6 to V7 will be non-breaking upgrade. And then the Vite plugin from Remix is coming to React Router 7. So that Vite plugin will be like the same experience for Remix. And then for Remix, no, this isn't it. It must be from here. Upgrading from Remix. Yeah, so this one isn't quite done, but we want to show like all the packages that you'll be updating, and it should just be really mostly changing those names. But we have more APIs to add to this to kind of bridge that gap. Notably, like use loader data right now is not in the React Router pre-release, and I think we need to add that. So that's one thing. But yeah, let's so yeah, I'll kind of maybe show an example of an app, and then we can migrate it. So let's see if I have anything. I think I have some. Yeah, let's go to. I'm just gonna go to my GitHub. I think I have some like dumb little examples. Um, your repository, and we can try and upgrade one of those and see what that looks like. So that's the one that I have going. This was on Nightly. I need to update this, but that's like our contacts tutorial written in it. So it's pretty simple, but an example of it. Let's look at, I think it's this one. It's an example I have. Yeah, I think the main of this will work. So let's pull this down. Oh, you gotta actually put the URL in there. All right, let's see what this guy looks like if it's got anything going on. So I think here I've got routes. Yeah, I've got some games and stuff. I think I have like a little fake database in here, so that's good. So I definitely will be using like use loader data. Okay, cool. This should be a good example. Oops. So we're gonna install this. Cool. Bunch bunch of deprecations. Ah, it's because of freaking ESLint. I'm just gonna rip it out, probably. Once this installs, we'll run it. But yeah, you can see that this is using Remix, so we're going to be updating everything from Remix to get this thing to work. All right, so if I run this guy, cool. So this is like a really just simple little game library app that I use sometimes to kind of talk about Remix, and then you can edit these, you know, just say whatever you want, and then it edits. Okay, cool. So and the database is ephemeral, so if I restart the server, this will reset the state. Cool. So that's that. So yeah, if we wanted to upgrade this to Remix, the first thing that you'll be wanting to do there from Remix, yeah, to React Router, is you want to go to Vite. You want to make sure that all the future flags are turned on. So we still have. So this one is good because it has fetch and persist turned on. It has relative splat path. These are like the pretty boring ones. And then throw. Oh, cool. It's just making up stuff. And then throw abort reason. And then we have a couple more. Mighty always gets kind of stuck on Vite for some reason. I don't know why, but it takes a second. So we got lazy route discovery. That's just like we've talked about that a number of times, but that's this like fog of war. That's what this article is talking about. So if you're not familiar with what that is, I would go read this article. And then the other one is single fetch. So that definitely changes things a good bit. But yeah, so these we will mark as V3 pretty soon so that they're ready to go. And so, because that is necessary for the migration path to, not migration, but upgrade from Remix V3, V2 to React Router V7. Okay, so I'm gonna run it. Probably didn't need to restart that dev server, but I'm gonna run it here, make sure everything works correctly. It all should be fine, especially because this is a very simple one. So yeah, everything works. Boom. Okay. So what does upgrading from React Router look like? So we're going to add code mods and stuff that will make this like way simpler. But basically, we're going to be changing most things from remix.run just to React Router. So for the most part, I think I can actually just do, I don't know, we'll just do something crazy. I don't know if this is going to work. We'll do React Router, all these things I think exist. And then these values, we're going to say, we're going to change those to pre. And then I'm gonna make this way more complicated myself. I'm gonna remove all the ESLint stuff just because I don't really want to be dealing with all that. Just to make sure. Cool. I don't think it would cause issues. It's just causing false negatives. Is that the word, right? Yeah. False positives. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So things already broke, which is good. Yeah, so there's conflicts, which is fine. In this case, I think I'm just gonna remove my package lock. There's better ways to do this, but I think I don't care enough. Ah, no, see, we're still getting problems. Oh, it's because I don't have React Router. That's fine. Thank you. React and Node aren't separate, thanks. I knew there was one. Yeah. So sorry to catch that. React Router, we got rid of this and we collapsed a lot of it back into React Router into this package. So this was previously Remix dash router slash React. And so we are getting rid of, we don't need this. We don't need React Router slash React. Most everything you need just lives in React Router now, which is really nice. And then a handful of things will be in like Node or like the service for the serve, and dev for like the Vite config and stuff. So we'll remove that one and then we'll see if I can install. Okay, I'm missing it one more, or something else is wrong. What did I do wrong? Well, resolving that's fine. Found React Router 6.0. See, again, I think this is just because Do I still have a package lock? No, I don't. This shouldn't matter. I do have a package lock. Nope, I don't. My ID is lying to me. Gosh. Go away. Thank you. I may just have to do a force because dependencies are still kind of weird. That should just work. Thanks, Pedro, for letting me know what I was doing wrong there. Okay, cool. So now we have everything, which is great. This is going to be a little bit different. I think this is going to be React router type gen. I don't know. I'll have to look that up in a second. These should all be like React. Oh man, I actually don't even know. Do we have docs on like what they should say? We probably do. Installation. We should have like a manual one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna add all these instead. Cool. Okay, they're just React router. That makes sense. So dev build. So that's all good. Some other things that we need to do. I'm curious. Yeah, our migration guide is terrible right now, so don't look at that one. I'm just gonna look at these manual instructions and see what else is missing. So a bunch of stuff is going to be changing. I actually want to fix the Vite config. So that's going to be the next one I need to fix. So I don't know why this doesn't exist. I think it's just things are out of sync. Okay, you can, yeah, stop showing me that. Yeah, so this is no longer remix.run/dev, obviously. React router. It's actually going to be at React router dev, and then I think you just take it from Vite. This gives us the option to, yeah, just like, or rather, it allows us to just like siphon off Vite into its own little package, which is helpful. This is not called this. This is now called React router. So then this turns into React router. And then we can remove all that stuff, which is nice. And so that should be good. Now, yeah, let me go to the changelog for this because that has some good notes on the type safe stuff. If you haven't looked at the changelog, it's not this one. See, I always get mixed up. Release next has some really good changelogs. This will be like the final thing that's released. But this kind of tells you a lot of different things that we've added, which is really helpful. Bunch of flags, vcompiler, manifest, routes.ts, and then type safety. This is actually the one I'm looking for. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. So yeah, I wanted to update this type check. I actually think I got that right. Okay, cool. Arguments, that's correct. And there's going to be a bunch of stuff in here I'm going to add, but I think I'll get to that in a second. I'm not too worried about it. What I want to do though is I want to fix like a bunch of these things. Again, we will should have code mods that'll like do this stuff for you. So this route, see, like this doesn't exist, which is a bit of a bummer because actually, wait, use loader data does exist. Oh, I know what's going on. So use loader data doesn't have like a generic, which is unfortunate. This is because the React Router v6 version didn't have a generic. And so we're debating whether or not we're going to pull that over into Remix or into React Router v7 just to make the migration path easier for Remix users. Personally, that's what I would prefer to do because I think that it's going to be really hard to code mod all this away. Like we'll have to code mod it to like as unknown as whatever, or maybe as, I don't know if it'll do it. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It's going to suck. Um, right now, but we're gonna make it good however it works. And Pedro probably already has ideas, so he may already be correcting me. Okay, so yeah, so the way I'm gonna do this right now is I'm just going to try and get this one page working. So I'm just gonna remove everything. This is the way that I think about things, so I think it might be easier for me. So if I run npm run dev, it is going to crash, I believe, or at least fail. Yeah, because there's no app.routes.ts file, so that's the first thing that you need to add. So I'm gonna add routes.ts, and then we'll go to the docs there, and we'll see what it wants me to do. So routing. I think I just want to use the package. Yeah, so you got this routes config. There we have a package where you can just use our existing what's it called? It's called like flat route. Oh my gosh. where is it? It's this one, file routing convention. So this FS routes, this is what I want. Cool. So I'm just going to use this. So this allows me to just use the routing convention from Remix, or that we invented in Remix. It's now useful for this or whatever, and so I shouldn't have to change like my actual routes at all, which will be nice. Hopefully we don't get any other errors immediately. Obviously we have type errors and stuff, but I think that should now like work at this point. Okay, cool. So this one can go away. Okay, so can't find at remix.run imported from app slash entry.server. I don't think I actually even need entry.server, but we'll, oh no, some good stuff in here. Oh, this is so interesting. Why do I even need this? I'm super curious if I can get rid of that. But yeah, let's just try changing these to like React router slash node. See, it doesn't even like me. Let's see where those come from. Okay, cool. So that one comes from React router. That one comes from React router. That makes sense. These are types. I'll just put that back up. Remix server is definitely going to come from React router. Oops. Okay. This is called something else, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Server. Is it React router server? Oh my gosh, I have no idea what this is called. Server. This one I don't know. Not sure if Pedro's still on and if he knows. There are so many things that come from here. There's like nothing called server. Server router? Is that what we're talking about? That doesn't seem right. Is it? Oh, okay. Whew. Good old guessing. Again, we are going to provide things so that you don't have to guess. But I am learning this stuff right now on my own. So can't find module at remix, blah, blah, blah from this one. So yeah, this was kind of my concern, was that we were going to get it trying to import a bunch of things that I don't want to. So for now, I'm going to remove this. Actually, I can do this a little bit differently. So the flat routes are like really composable, which is really nice. Not the flat routes, the routes.ts file. So theoretically, that's probably wrong. I think I maybe need to just like await it or something. Yeah. Okay. So I can do that. And the reason I'm doing that is I just want to comment it out for now. And then we'll pull in a route and we'll call it slash. And then we'll just go, app slash routes index. And then we'll go to the index. Oh, it's this one. It's underscore. I don't think I need app in front of here. This will tell me if I'm not pointing to the right thing. Yeah, and then I'm pointing, go away. Pointing to this, which is great. Meta function should come from just React router. And we'll be making this type better as well. And entry.client now is broken. So whack-a-mole, that will all be done with a code mod. Can't wait for that day. So React router. Hopefully it's not going to be called remix router, sir. Is it, oh my gosh, is it browser router? That doesn't seem right. Is it hydrate? No. I have no idea actually what this one's called. I saw someone talking about this, and I think it comes from like /dom. Would it be nice to see some actions with React 19 new stuff? Yeah, Demon, I'm not going to be showing that because React 19 is, it's not released yet. It's just an RC, so we don't actually have actions from React 19 in React Router v7 yet. There's a couple things that still need to be done for that. I'm trying to remember. I talked about this somewhere. I'm trying to remember if it was public. I think, yeah, I don't think we put it in our docs. We need to probably have a better public place for that. I think I just only put it in the email. Is it hydrated router? I think this is the right thing. All right, nothing found. This is actually a good error. So I'm gonna go here. Oh my gosh, it worked. I'm actually really surprised. I thought that was gonna be harder. I really was just like changing imports, so that's good. Which is stuff that you can change pretty easily. How should I declare resource routes in React Router 7 routes config just with route? Yeah. It'd be the same thing. So you're gonna do route yeah, you just do like, I don't know, like actions, whatever you want to call this thing, slash create. Yeah, and you do something like this. It's the same thing. And so then if I create this file, it's just going to have, this is a bad example. Don't save that one. It'd be like you wouldn't have an export default. You just have an export function or whatever you want, loader. And this would be your resource route. It's just this thing. So, but instead of like returning raw objects, I don't know, you could return like response.json or whatever you want to do, or data. I don't know. Anyway, but that's it. Yeah, it's just the same thing. The routes.ts doesn't change that at all. Okay, so now, man, that actually worked. That's awesome. Okay, let's just try and get everything working then. So I'm gonna delete. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna delete everything. Not delete everything. Sorry. I think I'm going to try and get all these routes working. So you're happy. I don't know why this is unhappy, but that's like a TypeScript thing, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. And now it's just going to be really upset about most things. So I'm going to change everything that's a remix run slash react to react router import. There's only a couple places I'm doing this, so that should fix those. Okay, now that's all working. Now in root. Root. All right. Let's render the outlet so we can actually see the children of this little application. Okay. Cool. Everything works. Awesome. Cool. All right. So there you go. We're done. No, I'm just kidding. We'll actually do some other stuff. So this is pretty cool. Man, this is awesome. That actually works. So yeah, again, this is trying to show you that like React Router with this little plugin just, oop, not that one, this one. With this little plugin, just turns React Router into a framework basically. With all the good stuff that we've been building in Remix for the past, I mean, I say we, but like this predates me, but it's been like 4 years since Remix was first announced on the scene, like 3 years since it's been open sourced, 2 years since we've been at Shopify, 1 year since I joined and made everything immensely better. Just kidding. And so yeah, this is like all it's gonna take. And again, like all the stuff I'm doing will just be code mod stuff. So now we'll get into some of the maybe nittier grittier things to change, like the type stuff, which I think people will be excited about because that's new. Uh, Diamond, thanks for the answers. By the way, why is generated type start with plus? Yeah, I'll do the generated types in a second. That's a great question. And thanks for your questions. David Adams, hey Brooks. What is the convention called for having nested directory of routes that specific route.tsx file that gets used? Is that called flat routes? It's what the Trellix demo uses. Yeah, that's still flat routes. I think, okay, if it's what Trellix uses, it's the same thing. So let me take an example. Yeah, okay, so we're on games. So this will be games ID. So the way that you would change this is you just do slash. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is now in games.id is a directory. Probably blew this up, right? And then I have route.tsx and I'm saying this is my route. Oh look, we're already getting more errors. So that might have blown things up. So let me just make sure that this is still working because I think I did that correctly. Yeah, okay, so that's all it is. This is like the Trellix demo uses this as well. It's just like this is how the remix routing convention in version 2 works. Is everything is a flat route, and then if you want, also tell me if I should probably bump this up, but I don't even need to ask. All right. And then if you ever want a nested directory, you can do like a directory and then route is automatically a directory. The reason you do this is because you could add another file and call this like utils, and put some stuff in here. And so there's not going to be a game/id, game/1/utils. That doesn't exist. If this is confusing or you don't understand what I'm saying, that's fine because this is all outlined here. Like we still have docs on how this exactly works. And I believe, let's see. Yeah, folders for organization. It's actually exactly right here. Can I post links? Yeah, here we go. I can post links. That's good. So yes, that just works. And the reason that just works is because Mark Daglish was awesome enough to just create a FS routes like package, and this is just remix routing because we genuinely think that the declarative routing, or at least most of us is a little bit better. But if you like a file-based convention, like that's great. Here's one. We may even add another one, like the V1 version. There's a way you can get it working. It's a little more steps, but it's not that hard. But also like if you're moving from Remix to React Router, you should not have to change your routes. That's silly. I may change them in a second just to show you what it looks like. But yeah. Okay. I gotta I gotta undo all that. All right. Let's throw this back up here. That's fine. There's probably a better way to do this, but this is fine for now. Games dot $ID dot route, and then I can delete that directory. Oh no, that's not dot route. That seems right. Let's see. Did I completely blow everything up? Boom. All right. Everything's back. Let's talk about type safety. Oh wait, two more questions. Hold on. So if directory has a specific route.tsx, the framework will ignore other files. Yes, exactly. That's just how that convention works. Exactly. And you could make up your own convention and write it, to treat other things how you want. Like remix flat routes is like another convention that someone wrote, Komen wrote, and it's got its own conventions where like if you have a plus, I think it's a plus. Gosh, I don't even know. Yeah. You can like it means something else. So like you can make up your own convention. We just wanted to get out of this game, but yeah. So our convention specifically, yeah, if you have a folder, it's like, okay, I'm gonna just look for a route .tsx file or .js or whatever. I'm gonna use that, and anything else I'm just gonna ignore. Like you can do whatever you want with it, but I'm not considering those routes. The binary guy says, does RR7 support middleware now? No, does not support middleware yet. So the path for what's coming new, our goal initially when we announced the RR7 React Router 7 thing was we were just going to really port over a remix and then just like cut it as soon as we could. But then we decided there were a couple things that we needed to improve for the migration story. And so we ended up shipping a couple of these like new little features really quickly. But then we got to a point where like, okay, we need to stop like creating new features because we're never going to ship this if we keep creating new features and we don't even have a pre-release out. And then by the time we get to the pre-release, all those new features may have bugs in them. So anyway, all that to say, like we are trying to draw a hard line in the sand and just say like what we have announced, what is in the pre-release is what we're going to release, just improved and bug fixes and code mods and all the other stuff to make the migration path really good. And then as soon as that's done, we can start working on middleware. Hopefully RSC will be in a good place where we can work on it. We're dependent on React 19 obviously being released, and then the environment API, which is getting very close and beat, and some reworking we have to do there. So no middleware quite yet, but it's definitely something I know Matt wants to work on soon. I think Matt's said he's working on it. I don't know. I guess it's not anyone's specific feature. Um, I'm just gonna assign tasks to my team, which I neither have the power to do, and they're not here, so they can't even fight about it. So this is great. Okay, so let's fix types because this was kind of the last thing we needed to actually get the pre-release out. So I'm gonna rely on we're gonna add docs or better docs. These docs are actually really great. We need to add docs basically to the actual docs versus like this is the changelog. So man, where does it start? Here we go. So this is all the great stuff that Pedro was really working hard on of these auto-generated types. So here's an example of it, how it works. We're gonna add stuff like this. We're not there yet. It's gonna add this. Okay. It's a little bit upside down for me, but that's okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to add this to our ts config file, config. So we need to add, yeah, let me just do this really quick and I'll shuffle things around. Oh, this may figure it out for me. Nope, it didn't. It just made up stuff. All right, that's fine. And then the routers go down here. Okay, so the reason we need all this stuff is because, did I do it all right? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. This is hopefully fine. I don't know, this is a little old. I think it's all fine. So yeah, we need to include the .react router / types. That's like a new thing. Also, I'm gonna add that to the git ignore. That's kind of how we recommend doing things. You don't need to check this in. It's auto-generated. So we need TypeScript to know that's what we're talking about. And then we have this root dir so that we can reference the React router types in like a nice way. So that's one thing we have to set up. And then we need to set up a plugin. So you don't have to do this. You can just, yeah, I think we can just do the type gen now. It's all going to break, but I think npm run type check should do it. Does unstable data strategy relate to middleware? Unstable data strategy doesn't block it. That is actually a really good point. Diamond, I forgot about that. And it doesn't block it. It is not the exact same, but yeah, they are related. I think that's what we're going to be building on top of. Okay, cool. So everything ran. That broke, which I fully expected, but it did create the React router type, so we can see that we already have like all our types in here, which is super cool. So cool. Yeah, you can see these types already look amazing. But I'm going to delete this. I don't want it. So I want my IDE to work with this, and this is where people are starting. I've already seen a couple people struggle. So there's a bit of education we'll do. We also need to figure out if there's just other things that are wrong. But yeah, anyway, education probably. So the thing we're going to do is we're going to add a plugin. So this will automatically generate the types. To get automatic type generation, you can use a new TypeScript plugin. So we're going to add this at the bottom. Doesn't really matter. Boom. All right. And then we plan to add some other goodies to our TypeScript plugin soon, including automatic JS doc. That's cool. Autocomplete for route exports. Very excited about that. And then warnings for non-HMR compliant exports. That sounds like something Pedro cares a lot about, and I'm sure it'll be helpful. That's awesome. All right, VS Code TypeScript looks for plugins registered in the tsconfig.json and the modules, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I just want to do what you tell me to do, Pedro, because I trust you fully. So we need to add this to our .vs Code settings. This makes sure this is very odd. I don't know why VS Code works this way, or Cursor, because it's a fork of it. Why doesn't it just use the TypeScript lib that you have installed? Why doesn't it auto detect that? Whatever. Anyway, we're gonna add .vs Code settings, blah blah blah. So we need to add this file. Just blindly do what Pedro tells you to do. I found that this works really well in life. Okay, so we're gonna add this. So this is saying use the TypeScript version lib, whatever. Yeah, the version that I have. I think. And then there's one other thing in here that I'm surprised isn't. Did it not make it in here? Okay, I'm gonna cheat. I'm really surprised this isn't in here. Maybe it just needs to be updated. Are you? What are you? No, not you. Oh gosh. Okay, I gotta find it somewhere else. Sorry, this is the boring part of the episode. Any other questions while I'm looking for something? Dev. Oh my gosh, not tags. Wait, come on. Where did my state go? Wait. Okay. Thank you. Templates. VS Code. All right, this is what I want. What is, yeah, I'm missing this TypeScript enabled. Enable prompt use workspace TSDK. So apparently you need this to enable the prompt so that VS Code can automatically generate types for you, basically, I think. Anyway, okay, this workspace contains, yeah, allow it. That's great. Perfect. So more things popping up at you is exactly what we all want, right? So that's good. So now I should be getting auto-generated types. I have found that I also, unfortunately, do need to reload the window for this stuff to take effect, which is very frustrating. But at this point, it hopefully will work once everything kicks in. Oh gosh, it didn't work, and that makes me really sad. I probably forgot one other thing. All right, we're gonna answer questions so I can think about it. Awesome. Thanks for the answer. Doesn't stay. Oh wait, no. Those aren't new questions. I thought they were new questions. I can't stall any longer. Pedro, why is this broken? So I'm not getting any generated types, which is very sad. And I know there's ways that I can like check this. So unfortunate though. I'm sure I did something wrong, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I found this to be, it's no one's fault. It's just a little finickier than I want it to be, and it's for me it's difficult to debug. But it could just be me being dumb or bad at coding. It's possible. I am never claimed I'm good at this. Okay, I don't know. All right, let's see. There's, I think he has a troubleshooting section, so let's see if we can in real time figure this out. Okay, troubleshooting VS Code. Open up the TypeScript file in your, open up any TypeScript file, and then Command Shift P, open TS server log. Okay. TS server open it, not restart it. Okay, and then what do I do in here? React router setup, search for this. Okay. Okay, it's there. So I'm doing something wrong then. Validation. Am I just missing something? Enabling plugin. Astro TS plugin. What is that? What are all these things? I don't know. It should be working right, or it's not. Okay, I don't know. Pedro can look at this later and tell me something, either something dumb I did, but probably something we need to update in our docs. Dang, I was hoping that one would be a lot simpler. So for now, because the auto gen isn't working, I'm just gonna do the type check again, and that'll create my types, and I'll be good for a little bit. But that's very unfortunate because I really do want to show you how the auto generation works. Man, that's so annoying. All right, whatever. So let's take an example. So right now, I talked about this already. Oh, first of all, someone asked why the plus type. So basically right now, we're gonna make this import better also. I think we're gonna make this a little bit more automatic. Yeah, okay. So this dot slash types, it looks in React Router. We set that up with the TS config. That was why we did the like the rooters thing. So that we could have this like be like a relative path sort of thing. So the reason we're doing the plus types is just to kind of make it clear that this is like kind of magical a little bit, that this isn't something you did. You probably aren't naming a lot of your files plus something necessarily, unless you're using, I guess, the remix flat routes from Killaman. But anyway, that means something different. So it's just kind of a way to signify that this is like auto-generated. Cool. So boo, 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 boo. I don't think, yeah, there's nothing for the layout. So really it's here. So we get route dot component props, I think, and then we should just be able to get loader data, and then we can just replace this, which is cool. And yeah, all those types are fixed. So that's awesome that that just straight up works. These games have the types that we want. I love this, that this is just what it is. I don't even know why is playtime, I guess. Huh, interesting. That's something I did to make that potentially undefined. So I really love that this is how the type gen works. However, I do think that for like the upgrade path for people, this is just going to be a little too frustrating that you have to do this every time. And this is going to be a really hard thing to code mod IMO. We could code mod this to say like, again, what we do as like, yeah, it would be like this, something crazy like that. And that technically is also correct. Maybe there's a better type than that. So maybe we'll code mod that. I still find that a little bit annoying, and I think people are gonna like the use loader data. I don't know. I don't know what all our plans are here, because we have also used route data, loader data. But yeah, I definitely have heard people talk about how they want. They still like the hooks, even though this is nice. That you're just getting the prop from up here. This is great. They still like the hooks, so we're gonna be figuring out what the best DX for that is and the best migration story for that is. But yeah, let's just fix up, because this is a small app. We can go ahead and fix all these up pretty easily. So we'll get rid of this one. We don't need that anymore. This will get better. So we can, yep, see, and now it's kind of more or less knowing what I'm wanting. Of course, these don't exist. What is it going to be called? It's going to be games. Seriously? Oh, silly cursor. Okay, and then this is route.loader args. And so now the params actually, it knows what it is, which is great. So that's great. That's great. And then here I can get, oops. Yeah, now it knows what I'm doing. This is great. Yeah, this is the stuff where like a little copilot or editor or cursor or whatever you want to call it is really good. It's really good at figuring out like, oh, you're doing a really repetitive task. I'm good at those. So yep, we're just gonna do that, and knows exactly that's what I want. And then let's see if I can get this to do that, which is good. I don't need to typecast this anymore. That's good. So that's got the request and the params, which is great. And then this one is the last one. Cool. All right, I think that's gonna be all the types. Nope, it's not. Oh, this might have been the problem. I didn't even think about this. Is that, I don't even know if that's what you do. I'm just gonna again copy from the template that works. We will clarify all this stuff in the docs, I assure you. Okay, we got the include. Yeah, this type should be different. I don't know if that's 100% why it didn't work or not. I think everything else is like the same though. All right, let's try it again. I'm really into how I can define multiple components inside a single file with React without export the components to me feel scoped. And with Remix, I can tell use loader data in every scoped component to get loader data. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I totally feel that. I understand. Seems like React Router is not going to support it further. Yeah, I think we're, again, I haven't like, I know Pedro's thought about this more. I think at the least we'll have like I think we'll have like use route loader data where you specify the route, which will be nice because I'm pretty confident this again is a code gen thing. So we can say specifically like, we could do something really nice where yeah, this will say like exactly what that data is. The only problem is like if you're using a component, not this export default, but if you just have like, my component and you're using this thing like wherever, say this is coming from a different file, different.tsx, not Texas.tsx. So you have this component and you want to use this multiple places and you want to use the loader data. We don't really have a way to know at compile time necessarily if this data actually exists or not. Because if you're not like within this path, you don't actually have this data. So I think the type would just need to be or undefined, and you need to like, say if loader data, equals null or whatever. Not that. That's dumb. You would say like, I think it's be undefined. You would maybe throw like and say like you can't use this outside of whatever, just like you do like context stuff. So a little bit boilerplatey, but like we have to have some guardrail there. Otherwise, you don't really know what this is. And if you're doing use loader data, we need to give you every single option of possible loader data. So you need some way to specify where is this loader data coming from? What am I expecting? And then we need to guard well against like the potentiality of the potential of you using the loader data, the wrong data, like you using this component somewhere where you shouldn't. Just like you could use a context hook or whatever, reading from context, and the context actually hasn't been rendered. So we just need to make sure we're setting up for that well, but I don't think we want to 100% get rid of like the ability to use a hook to read data, because that is really useful, and a lot of people really like that. So yeah, thanks QZ Curious. The hook could target on any path. That truly cool. Yeah. I mean the hook. I guess it depends what you mean exactly, but the hook could definitely. The thing is, like, again, it's important to note it's just a reader, so the data already had to happen. Like you use fetch or dot submit or whatever or dot load if you actually want to pull in new data. So that's the way to do that. That's already how that is, and that's how that will be. For this guy though, you it doesn't fetch the data. It just reads the data. So the data already needs to exist. And again, you just need to be able to have a way to like more or less like tell it. Either you need to be able to say like, hey, trust me, bro, this is, this is the data. Or you need it again, like we said, like it would I think it'd be ideal to say like, yeah, this is the route. It's gonna be this one or whatever, or however we'll do this like action. What are we calling it? Games, sorry, games slash ID or something like that. No, I'm bike shedding on myself. Okay. And then you can say that, and then it gives you the types and says like if the data is there, these are the types. I think that's the way to do it. I think, but I'm sure there's more complicated things than complicated issues than that. All right, everything's good except for this one. I don't know what this is, but I'm not gonna worry about this. This is something else. We're gonna say expect error, and we'll do the shrug emoji. Shrug emoji. Oh, I should spell it right. There we go. I didn't expect a lot of people would call use loader data on a shared component. That's dangerous. Oh, okay, cool. I think I just misunderstood then what you were saying. Yeah. We just need to make sure people understand that. But I think we'll still have like use route data, and we'll have something that makes the migration path easy. Okay, So we fixed all the type errors. So it wasn't that hard, but this is a very trivial project. So if there's any questions about type safety stuff, I'm gonna try this one more time and see if I can actually get this thing working. Because I would really like the autogen stuff to work. It's the one of the coolest parts of this. Because without it, it's kind of a hard sell that you have to like be running a watcher at all times. I don't think you should have to run. Maybe I've misunderstood something. Maybe you do have to run npm run dev, but I'm quite confident you do not. Yeah, you don't. That doesn't fix it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get Pedro to fix this. I'm also just gonna copy and paste this whole thing because it's very possible. I didn't set something up right. It's changing slightly, but I don't know why. What's this? Formatting prettier. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. What am I missing? What am I missing? Man, this is gonna bug me a lot. Oops. I guess I accidentally deleted this. That's completely incorrect. Pedro, why doesn't this work? I have a question. Is Remix v2 next React Router v7? If I understand what you're asking, I think you're asking is the next version of Remix React Router v7, in which case, so like, is Remix v3, or maybe you're asking, is React Router v7 just what Remix v2 is? And in that case, like, yes, but also with new stuff. So it's really, we have a blog post. So we talked about it here. Incremental path to React 19 React Conf follow-up. There also was a post that I posted, which is a little bit longer, but also kind of giving maybe more of the backstory of why we're doing this. But this is more the nice kind of TLDR. But basically, I'm trying to find where it is. So yeah, so is that the one? Sorry, I'm trying to find where we have like a good line for it. React Router v7 comes with new features not in Remix or React Router today: RC, server action, static pre-rendering, enhanced type safety across the board. So basically, yeah, React Router v7 is what React Router v2 is, plus all the future flags we already had for React Router or for Remix, plus all these new features, except for RC and server actions. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. So yeah, hopefully that answered it. Maybe you should update this TypeScript version. I like that idea. I'm down to try anything at this point because this is not working. TypeScript at latest. Yeah, let's try that. Then we'll reload again. Yep, yeah, I think that's correct. It's just, man, I don't know if it's VS Code. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna even try just like closing cursor, and I will open it again. Where am I at? It's not this one, it's this one. Everything's still initializing. It's like, should all be working. Did your VS Code target your TypeScript to the one installed in Node modules? Yep, we went over all that. This, I'm pretty sure, is correct. Let me copy. I'll copy and paste that one as well. I dislike this part of getting this thing to work. Yeah, it's the exact same. Well, the good news is I will have another example of it not working that I can share with Pedro. Very disappointing. Because I have to like basically watch it or run it in a watcher now at this point, which is not how we want to do things. All right, you should be good. Why are you upset? Oh, because this is not correct. No, not dot dot. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? It's already been going for about an hour. I can't get this to work, can I? plus type slash dot. There we go. Let's talk about maybe routes. Yeah, if someone has an answer, that's great. I don't know why I can't get the auto gen to work. But yeah, let's talk about routes. .ts. So if you haven't seen this one I think is pretty straightforward. There's like one little thing I'd like to be a little bit better. But for these examples, like I don't really love our routing convention, but some people like it and that's fine. So again, you can use the flat routes. The way I'm gonna do it, what's really cool, I kind of showed this earlier, but you can, let's wrap this, wait. So the thing that's returned from this can be a promise or not a promise, which is nice. But you can also compose these really well. So if I want to compose them, I can do it here. And then I can start setting up my own stuff. So I'm going to move the home. So the index route will be at, I'm just going to call it route slash, I'm going to call it home.tsx now. Ooh, what's the way I want to do this? First, I need to actually pull this in from here. Yeah, I don't want to call it routes because this is going to keep picking up those routes. I don't think I can pass anything to. Ooh, I can't ignore route files. How does this work? Ooh, this is kind of a silly way to do it, but is this just like an array of globs? That's cool. I wonder if this will work. Okay, we'll see. And then I'm just going to rename this to home. Let's see if that worked. I don't know. I have no idea if that's going to work. Duplicate route ID home. Yeah, I was worried that it was going to do that. Does it need to be like a glob? Can I do that? Nice. That's awesome. I mean, it's kind of silly, but it works. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have another crazy idea. This is gonna be fun. So these things just compile down into like an object. Um, compiled down. They run as an object. I guess it only runs once. Um, but yeah, it just turns into this thing. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. All right, my routes. No, stop. You don't know what you're doing. Yeah, so these are gonna be my routes. There's a way better way to do this, but I just want to see if this works. So then we'll pass my routes, and that's good. And then this will be my routes. Yeah, but it's not path. It's gosh, what is it? Dot file. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Of course, if I nested stuff, this won't work. Cool, but now I can move all my stuff over. Okay, I'm not gonna call these things what they are. I'm gonna call this. I need a route, and then we're gonna have games. So this is one thing that needs to be fixed a little bit. So I'm gonna pull in the route. So for the slash games route, ideally you can just give it children like this, but you actually have to give it like a game.tsx. You have to give it a file, which is kind of annoying. So we want to be able to skip that. That's something I've brought up to the team, and hopefully it will change. But basically, new file. We'll just do games.tsx. Default function games, yeah. And it's just gonna return an outlet. And yeah, so that we just have to have that. Again, it's not something I think we should have. Also, I'm gonna get rid of this. This was fun for a second, but this is very silly. It's about to break. So if you go to slash games, it should just be a route, and then out saying no route match here, which makes sense because there's nothing there. So then the thing that we want is we want a route called for like ID, I think it is, and then we'll add that for now. Come on, that's not what it is. Oh man, the way this works is really weird. I'm gonna have to think about these. Yeah, let me just get the ID one up first. So this is incorrect. I'm gonna change the name of these because I don't really like the names. Okay, cool. So we got the ID one rendering, but yeah, let's just call this like game details. And we'll call this game details. See, all this shit's gonna break. Yeah, this is completely incorrect now. I gotta rerun. How do I run this in watch mode? What would I run? I would run like Chokodar or something like that. I don't really want to do that. I'm just gonna rerun it, or I'm gonna run it for like pre-dev. I think this will work. Okay, so now if I run dev, it should reset things. I'm gonna have to, again, this is just a bug. This isn't the way that you're gonna have to do it. So then let's fix this. Types. Why did I don't want to name this this. What am I doing? This should be like that. Types dot game. Come on. Are there no types? Does this not know what I'm talking about? Did I break this? Oh, I know what's going on. So the autogen points to, or like looks at whatever's in your routes.ts file. So because I didn't have that correct in the routes.ts file, it didn't exist, which is fine. So there it is. Cool. Now we got the correct types again. This can go away. Go away. I don't know what you are. Okay, so that's what I want the like ID route to look like. And then the edit route. Oh, probably shouldn't say that on the stream. Oh, I named the wrong one. This is the action. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just go back, go back, go back. Okay, this was the edit, so I don't actually want this. I'm gonna keep going back. Cool. You're the details. Game details. Perfect. Sorry about that. It was confusing. All right. Okay, so for the ID, yeah, I get it now. All right, cool. So now I want to route for ID slash edit, and I want that to go to game edit.tsx, and then we'll rename this game edit.tsx. Restart my dumb dev server. Game. Nope. I messed something up. Failed to load the URL. That's fine. I don't care about that. Failed to load the URL game app slash game dash edit.tsx. Okay. Why can't you load that? Got it. We need routes in front of it. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Jeez. This stuff will get better for sure. All right, so that was just needless shuffling of stuff. Again, you don't have to do that to actually upgrade. Yeah, so it all works. Beautiful. Okay, so what else do I want to do? I think that's like routes.tsx. That's pretty much how it works. It's pretty straightforward. This is the one thing I don't like. I wish I could get rid of this, but we can't get rid of that right now because it's like, in this case, I literally am just using it as like as the outlet, or just running whatever its children are. So I want to get rid of that. Can routes.ts be built dynamically from remote sources, for example? Yeah, 100%. So you could definitely do like, because that's how, I mean, that is, sorry, what's the example I'm trying to think of? This guy, that's exactly how this works. This is like reading, it's not from a remote source, it's from a local source, but it's still doing the same thing. It's using like the file system reader or whatever, which is like basically the same process, but you could totally do like, I don't know if you have a DB or whatever, get a board game. That's a bad example, but like, I don't know, get routes. That's fine. I don't care what it is. And then you get those. And then with those, you can go like, okay, I want to do routes.map, and then for each of them, I'm going to do, this is a bad example, this, and then you do like, okay, route, r.path, r.file, whatever you have. But you could totally do something like that because yeah, this thing accepts, this route config accepts either resolved route config or a promise of it. So it will run at the beginning, and whatever it gets, it will use that as your routes, which is super cool. The only thing about that though is it does run only like at, why is there another package log? That was weird. It only runs at build time. So it's not a good way to do dynamic routes at all. Like of like, oh, I updated the DB, now I want like my routes structure to change. That's not going to work very well because yeah, it's only running at build. So you'd have to like rerun your entire build server. So you'd have to set up a hook or whatever. But at that point, you should probably just be using, for whatever you're doing, you probably should be using like a param at this point. But it is really nice that you can still do something like that. Like you have full control because this is just JavaScript. That's a big reason we wanted to do this. Cool. Okay, the last thing I want to show is I think I want to show the pre-rendering, because it's cool. And then I think I'll be done. Be done talking to the internet. So let's say we have, let's look at what home looks like. So home is pretty basic. Yeah, this is a really simple one, but I don't think it's going to work because there's still the root. I wonder what will happen. So if I go to, let's just try it. If I go to Vite, and then in here, what can I pass? I can pass probably a bunch of stuff. Pre-render. And then you can pass in URLs. So I pass in slash. What it does is it's automatically going to run the loaders and then just like output an deb npm run build. And then it'll output a like HTML and the data for it. So I'm really curious what that's going to look like. So here's index.html. Yeah, okay. So it ran like the root route. So this is the problem with this is don't really want it to do that. So yeah, the issue is I have like a loader, not a loader, a layout in my root route, which isn't ideal. So I might reconfigure this to show this example, but let's see what someone said. I think that is quite annoying that you should keep and sync file names in the file paths in routes config with fs file. You have, yeah, that's great. I mean, this is 100% why we're doing it this way so that you can just use whatever you want in your routes.cs file. You can use a route convention if you like. So you don't have to do something like this if you don't like this. So yeah, more power to you if that's what you like. And we're hoping that people keep writing better and better route conventions. We hope someone writes one that's kind of like Next. So people moving from Next will have a really easy like migration path, because it should be pretty trivial. So it's like a nice little project if someone wants to build that. Cool. So this is fine. And it also comes with, I think, the data. Yeah, root data. But again, ooh, this is crazy. What is this? This is like turbo stream stuff. Okay, cool. So it generates the data and it generates the index.html for this. So this is a bad example. I don't want to actually render the root here. Also, if you just say like pre-render true, it'll pre-render everything that's not a dynamic path, which is pretty cool, which in this case I think will just be home again, or index. Blew it away, built it again. Oh, it also did games. Yeah, because games doesn't have, I guess it just has data, but it doesn't actually have an index. No, there it is, index.html. It's kind of the same thing. All right, not a great example though. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reconfigure some things. So in routes.cs, I want to put all of this stuff is gonna be in its own little layout. So we'll do a layout, and then layouts get a file. So we're gonna call it like, I don't know, games layout. And then we'll do, yeah, I think what it's suggesting is exactly what I want. Okay, thank you. So let's do games layout.tsx, and actually I'm gonna do it a little bit differently because that's kind of silly. Let's do a new file called layouts slash games. That's perfect. Let's do that. Again, you can use a routing convention if you want. That's totally fine. Okay, so in this guy, the problem with this, no, there's no problem. So I want to take what's in root, and it's mostly just going to be all this stuff again, but I'm going to delete a bunch of stuff that we don't need. So we are going to need this. I think I can just do this. We'll get rid of you. We'll get the types in a second. I don't need this. Games layout. That's what we'll call this. We'll get to this in a second. And the loader. Yeah, okay. Oops. Import that. My goodness, where are your types? I'm still very unused to this thing. That seems right. That's so interesting. Okay, I think that's correct. Yeah, it is correct. All right, cool. Just gonna trust that. Okay, cool. So this is now my game's layout. So the way that this is gonna work is I'm gonna change root because root is no longer actually getting the data, and root is truly just going to render, I think, just like this. Yeah. Remove this. Yep. Remove that. Yeah, I think that can all be. Whoop, go away. Do. And then let's clean this one up a little bit. Okay, so I've separated my layout into another file because I don't want that layout to be in the root because I'm going to want a different page that gets rendered there. So let's make sure this is all running. Can't load tailwind.css. Totally fair. You shouldn't be loaded there anyway. Cool. All right, so this is all working, which is correct. But I want I like want an about page. So let's go to the index. Not that one. Home, and we'll render. There's this div, but then we're also going to say like I don't know, link to about. Oh, that looks terrible. Did I add a semicolon or yeah, colon? Okay. Come on, let's add some styles. Thank you. It heard me. All right, so then I can go to the about page. The about page doesn't exist. So now in here, we're gonna do a route called about.tsx. And again, in my root, we'll add an about. This is gonna be outside of my layout. Yep. Cool. And so now this is the about page. Okay, and it says about. This is very dumb. Obviously, it's not a very good page, but just trying to show the point. And then let's add like a loader. Yep. Let it just make everything up for me. Nope, incorrect. There we go. Gotta rerun the freaking thing because I can't get the types to generate automatically. Dot. Really? My goodness. It keeps trying to do the double slash, that's why. Dot component props, and then we get loader data. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. And now let's make sure this is still working. Okay, now I want to actually pre-render this inside of config. I don't want to do pre-render true. I'm just going to do about. The nice thing here is like this is another example where you could like say you have a blog or something, you could pull in a bunch of URLs of like what those slugs are. So you could do like db.get blog slugs or whatever, and then map them out and then figure out what you're pre-rendering based on that. So that's nice. Okay, so what we can see is, where are we at? Inside the build, we have now about.html. Oh, weird. Why is games in root.data still existing? I'm going to delete this and rerun that because I think I'm running the dev mode. I think that's why. Because I'm a silly person. Cool. So, yep. So we got about.data. And so that has, here's this message and here's like the root data. So it does have to still run like the root. It has to run whatever parents. The root doesn't have any data, so there's nothing in there. I know this is hard to read. It's just TurboStream stuff. And then you got your about, which is the index.html. This thing's kind of like wild, but you know, whatever. It is something we should be able to see in here. What is it? This is, there we go. So there's the actual, I think, data of it, and then there's the actual like body and whatnot. So if we do npm run start, this is not the dev server, so this should run on localhost 3000. And now if we go to about, we can see that we actually have the about page. If I open up the network, this is actually something I'm really curious about. What's it going to do? So it gives me the about page. This is the about page, and if I view source, there's my source, which is great. It's got all that stuff. It's got this giant routes manifest, I guess. I don't know why it has this information. I'm not going to worry about that. That seems like something for another day, but I don't think that it should be doing all of that. Actually, let's see. React router manifest. Why does it have all of this? Okay, I don't know. I'll need to ask Matt about that. What's going on there? That seems very surprising. Doesn't seem like it should be discovering all those routes, but that's fine. Okay, cool. So it has, this is the about page, and then yeah, that's like actually what it is, which is great. What I'm curious about though is if it's gonna actually fetch the data for the about page. So if I go directly to it, will it like refetch the data, or is it just returning that data? I think it's actually refetching it, which is really interesting. I wonder if there's a way to like avoid that, because it is SSG, it's static site generation or pre-render. I guess that's also why we're calling it pre-render. About.tsx, so we pre-render it. Let's do it the dumb way. We'll say, what is going on with my keyboard? Oh my gosh, I hit something wrong and now I can't go up and down with my keyboard. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh well. How do you, if anyone knows, I've like inverted my keyboard somehow. And it's very unfortunate. No, I think it's VS Code. Oh well, I'm not gonna worry too much about it, but I can't. Oh, there we go. That was super weird. I couldn't go up or down. It was going sideways. Console log, about loader. So we're gonna do npm run build and npm run start. Okay, so yeah, it does run back here. It's pre-rendering, and it actually pre-renders it and says about loader. I don't know why it's going. It seems like it's going twice. We might have to figure that out. And then it's here. So once I'm actually on this page, it does rerun the loader, I think. Yeah, yep, it does. Which makes sense. So it's just pre-rendering it so that when it discovers, I guess so it's like extra fast. Okay, that's what, now the next thing I want to do. I'm gonna do, this is the one feature I haven't really messed with, so this is very fun. So I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna slow it down for 5 seconds so that the transition theoretically is gonna be much slower. I still want this, and then I want to say, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we'll do these step by step. So npm run build, this will take 5 seconds longer. It should, because the pre-rendering is going to take a little bit longer. Yeah, there we go. So it's pre-rendering it, and then it built it. Uh-oh. Why is it running twice? Okay, shouldn't be running twice, I don't think. So that's one, and then npm run start. So now, if I'm on this page, it's still going to take 5 seconds, I think. Fascinating. So what is the benefit of this? I think it's just so it's just for caching it, because it's still running the loader. No, okay, that was faster. Okay, that's super interesting. Um, so actually transitioning to it. Okay, I'm gonna talk to trying to understand this a little bit better because I don't think I understand fully the benefit of this. I'm not saying it's not beneficial at all. Just I am learning just as much as most people are now. So if I navigate to it, it's really fast, which is great. It's not actually calling the loader. If I refresh on it though, it is a server side rendered call and it is refreshing everything. So I want to figure out why that is and what's going on. Okay, this has been an hour and a half of me going through React Router v7 pre-release, um, showing how to basically upgrade from a remix app, like a really, really, really simple one, to React Router, and kind of showing what that migration path is going to look like, or upgrade path, and showing all the details of the things that we're planning on smoothing over with code mods and everything, and then trying to walk through some of these kind of new cool features and running into roadblocks with them as well. So good stuff to get back to the team, give them some feedback on, and thanks everyone for your questions. Thanks for watching. If you stayed this long or jumped on at any point, I hope this was enjoyable. Yeah, peace.